welcome again. If you're watching this video and you're coming along with me on a hike again, thanks for joining me. It's a beautiful day. I'm in one of my favorite places. This is Willoughby Run in Pennsylvania on the Gettysburg battlefield. This is my front yard. I can see this run right from my bedroom window. I hope you can hear the water rushing over the rocks. It's very nice. It's obviously very peaceful here. It's perfectly temperate. There's ice on the rocks. It's not too cool. It's not too warm. I prefer the cooler weather. I hope you do too. But it's very pretty here, as you can see. I'm probably a mile from my front door, and hopefully in the next 3 months this will all be frozen over, and I'll get my snowshoes and I will go out my front door and I will hike on my snowshoes right down the middle of the creek all the way to Sachs Bridge, Sachs Covered Bridge. There's nothing like being out here and your only company is the winter birds. And everyone should commune with nature at least for an hour, no matter what your schedule, no matter how trying your day was. Every day I find great value in getting out for a walk, getting out here, and finding peace in nature on a daily basis. It's good for your spirit, it's good for your mind, it's good for your body, it's good for your soul. And of course, most of you, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. And thanks for coming along. Would you like a cigar? If you would, you should bring some. One of the reasons that I went out last night was to photograph the supermoon. And so I caught the moon coming up. Hung out in the woods, drank some coffee, and watched the moon. It was a beautiful sight. It was so peaceful. It was really cold, which was really awesome. The wind was really kicking. Even though I was in the trees, it was really cold. And I had all the wool on that I could. But I got some great pictures. If you are a follower of my Instagram page, if you are a follower or a friend on my Facebook page, I posted a few pictures from last night. I hope you enjoy them. And again, if you're coming along with me today, I don't really have a topic picked out. I wanted to discuss some stanzas from the Havamal regarding friendship, and we will get to that. And I hope you find value in what I have to share. And so again, thanks for coming along. The passages that you hear me read often, and if you've been a friend of mine on Facebook over the years, you've often heard me quote Uhtred, the pagan lord. And those passages, those parts from those books, the books are a 10-part series by Bernard Cornwell. The book series, the Saxon Tales, the Warrior Chronicles, the Saxon stories about Uhtred's life, is historical fiction, somewhat. Uhtred was a real person. All of the characters in the book, in all of the books, all of the people are real people. All of the battles, all of the places, all of the place names, the scenarios that occurred, at those places at those times really happened. If you are interested in the period of the 8th century through the 10th century, please have a look at Cornwell's books. They're my favorite books.
The lands that are carefully marked by stones and by dikes, by oaks and by ash, by marsh and by sea. They are wave-beaten lands, wild beneath the wind-driven sky.
If you follow the things that I've had to say over the years, thanks again. One thing that you've often heard me say is that your true friends are those people who want to see you happy, healthy, and successful in all that you choose to do. Your true friends will be instrumental to those ends. To those friends of mine who have been instrumental in seeing that I am happy, that I do my best to remain healthy, and that I succeed in the creative efforts that I've chosen to undertake. Thank you for your support. Thank you for sponsoring my adventures. Thank you for always being there. And if you're watching this, thanks for watching. Please comment, please share your thoughts, your aspirations, your dreams. Check out my channel, subscribe to my channel. And if you'd ever like to come along, you're always welcome. I'm waiting for a couple of days up into the next snow. I want to get out into the Appalachians. The Appalachians are 10 minutes away from my home. And so I'm waiting for the next forecast of a really big snow where nobody will be able to retrieve me. I'm going to get out into the mountains and set up. That snow has not occurred. I've worked out in the green industry outdoors in the mid-Atlantic, in Virginia, Pennsylvania, Virginia Beach, DC, Hershey, Gettysburg. Since '93, I worked for the State Park Service out in Colorado and Boulder, did work in Rocky Mountain National Forest. In any event, I've paid attention to the weather out in the mid-Atlantic. My livelihood has depended upon it. Historically, from my own recollections, yearly, we get some snow the first and second week of February. We will get our last snow second or third week of March. So it's now the first week of February. And we finally have a little bit of snow, just what I've been waiting for. You can see the mountains up there on the ridge if it wasn't so overcast. And this is a nice thing to wake up to. Can't wait to get out today. Have a great one. And I'm patiently waiting for that snow so that I can get up to the mountains, build a lavu, a shelter that I will demonstrate its benefits. Appalachian Trail huts, you are not allowed to have fires in. If you've ever camped in on the Appalachian Trail or up in the Appalachians in the hiker huts, during the cold seasons, January, February. They're not comfortable. You're cold no matter what gear you have. I've had the best gear. I've used the worst gear. I'm a very frugal person. I can always get my hands on the best gear. REI, thermal pajamas, North Face or Osprey equipment to keep you warm, and it kind of sucks. Everyone loves a fire. And so picture kind of a teepee, not to be confused with a teepee, built from limbs in a tripod fashion with sod and limbs. I'll use a tarp, and I will throw more limbs and sod over the tarp, and you can have a nice fire right in the center, and you can fit 3 or 4 of your pals in there. Drink a beer. I travel as light as I possibly can. If you've ever hiked 20 or 40 or 50 miles, and I have several friends who've hiked 2,000 miles or more. One of my best friends has hiked the globe. Weight is a huge factor to your success and your enjoyment of any hike. And I travel as light as I can. I'm not an ultralight freak. I'm not an ultralight expert. I do what I know how to do and how I know how to do it. I hope you find value in what I do and how I do it. I hope you find something new. Always share what you know, please. But one thing I always do take is a nice little slim 6-pack of ale. And so, sitting in that lavu with a nice little fire, with a couple of your good pals, drinking an ale, after hiking uphill for 6 hours over the demonic rocks, which are the trails in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania has the hardest, harshest, rockiest trails I've ever hiked, and I've hiked all over the country, in Canada, the Rockies, the Cleveland Mountains, you name it, the Pacific Northwest, Yellowstone, New Mexico, Arizona, the Appalachians from North Carolina up to New York, Maine, Vermont. I've hiked all over the country the past 30 years, since '89 when I left college. And a beer at the end of the day, sorry for being long-winded, really makes the hike all that much more worthwhile. So let's continue. And so I'm crossing back over the run. Sometimes I might touch on a little bit of Civil War history. Some people watching this know that I do living history. I'll be doing some videos from some medieval living history and Viking living history events, and living history encampments, living history festivals from the 6th century to the 19th century. So if you're into that sort of thing, stay tuned. A lot of you have asked, hey, I'd like to come along with you sometime. So it's another reason I started this video series. People can read what I have to share all day long, but I've always felt that looking in somebody's eyes and hearing what they say is a whole lot more meaningful when it's coming from their lips. You can look in their eyeballs and you can see how sincere people are. I think that it makes things that people have to share that much more sincere, profound, and valuable. And what's for dinner. In essence, the world is a very incredible place. Its beauty, the beauty of the world, lies in its diversity. The world, every step of it that we take, will never be the same. And that, my friends, is an absolutely beautiful thing. And again, I'm headed home. I can smell those salmon patties already. Talk to you soon.